How can you claim that Jewish gang members in coordination with Israel took out JFK, assassinated JFK? Where's the smoking gun? I don't see the email. I don't see the letter that says, yeah, take out JFK. There's no smoking gun. So there's an arbitrarily high standard of evidence, but in reality, like, we take into account vast amount of circumstantial evidence, a vast amount of all of these factors that when you put together, it's clear, like, this is most likely 95% likely to be the case that this is actually what's happening behind the scenes. And that requires like a certain level of understanding of the way that the world works. So some people have that ability and they're called conspiratards. And other people, they think that they're more rational and that they're more critical and they're just not going to accept whatever conspiracy theory, but they end up way behind in understanding how things are actually playing out behind the scenes. Like, how many people only recently they came to accept that the official narrative regarding 9/11 is false, like, is not true. It's only recent because their understanding of what is true or not, the mainstream opinion is heavily, heavily weighted to such a degree that outweighs any other factor. So if it's not something mainstream accepted, and you don't have like respected academics like considering this to be the case, that 9/11 was an inside job or 9/11 was coordinated by these other intelligence agencies, they're just not going to accept it. It's just going to seem implausible to them, and they'll try to justify that by saying, well, there's no smoking gun, there's no critical piece of substantial evidence. They'll justify it, but really it's because they're just following whatever is acceptable in the mainstream. Then when the mainstream changes, it becomes accepted in the mainstream that, yeah, clearly the mainstream narrative can't be true. Now it makes sense. Now, okay, it's clear. And usually these people, they don't talk about it like, oh, my belief was changed. I actually was a skeptic before in the conspiracy theory, but now I understand that the conspiracy theorists were right all along. They never admit that. Are you really telling me that you just got that necessary piece of evidence, that final pin dropped into place, and then now you're convinced because you're such a rational person? Maybe, maybe that happens for some of these people, but most of them, they're not reflective of the fact that you're just going off of what is actually considered mainstream or not.